We've got new information in the case of the state of Idaho versus Bryan Kohberger. There's the transcript of the 911 call made and text messages exchanged between the surviving roommates. Let's take a look at both. Court documents say that someone by the initials of HJ located the unresponsive body of Zana Kernodle and informed Bethany and Dylan to call 911. The surviving roommates. Someone named EA was present at the time. The documents talk about how the people there perceived what was happening. Here's the transcript. 911. Location of your emergency. Hi, something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what. What is the address of the emergency? 1122. No, don't. What is the rest of the address? Oh, Kings Road. Okay, and is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right? I'll talk to you guys. We live at the right, so we're next to them. I need someone to repeat the address for verification. The address? 1122 King Road. And what's the phone number that you're calling from? This answer was redacted. What's your phone number? What's the rest? Okay, and tell me exactly what's going on. One of the roommates who's passed out and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up. No, we saw, okay. Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah, hi. And are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone. Stop passing it around. Can I just tell you what happened, pretty much? What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now? I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m. Okay, I need to know what's going on right now. If someone is passed out, can you find that out? Yeah, I'll come. Come on. We gotta go check. But we have to. Is she passed out? She's passed out. What's wrong? Dispatching Moscow Law Ambulance for she's not waking up. Unconsciousness. 1122 King Road. 70 is en route. Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way. Okay, maybe. Unintelligible. 1122 King Road. All ambulance respond for unconsciousness. 1122 King Road. I copy. Unintelligible. 58. Multiple RPs. That means reporting parties. On the phone advised saying, the roommate on scene is passed out and not waking up. Believe she got drunk last night and unintelligible about a male being in the room with them. Unintelligible being around. That one. I copy about 20-year-old female unconscious trying to get further. Copy. Yeah, it's Evan. Okay. And how old is she? She's 20. 20, you said? Yes, 20. Here, do you want to talk to him? Okay. Hello? Okay. I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people. Okay, sorry. They just gave me the phone. Is she breathing? Hello? Is she breathing? No, okay. Unintelligible. En route. Bethany or Dylan, I need you to talking to them, okay? I can't talk to them. I need you to talk to them. Okay. Hello? Okay. I have already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. Okay. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. Units responding RPs advising. Unintelligible. The patient is not conscious, not breathing. Unintelligible. Okay. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. We don't have one. Unconscious, not breathing. Do you have a defibrillator? Yep. Yes, we have one. But are you talking to the officer? Yes. Okay. I'm gonna let you go since he's there with you and can help you. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Okay. Moscow 46 out. Copy. I think we have a homicide. Moscow Engine 20 is en route. 1370, unintelligible, 107. I relate it. So that was the 911 call with the young people on scene declaring Kernodle unresponsive to dispatcher Carolina Calvin, thinking Kernodle was passed out and not waking up. Okay, so now we know why this call was described as being for someone unresponsive. It is strange to some people reading this transcript that the callers didn't immediately see any blood or describe the scene as such immediately. The declarations were made immediately after H.J. discovered Kernodle's body. Court documents say that heaving, breathing, and crying that can be heard throughout the call, so we'll have to wait for the actual audio to hear that. Now, for the text messages. The court documents say that starting on November 13th, 2022, at 2:10 a.m., Dylan sends a text message to E.G., the Uber driver, to inquire if he is driving. This text message exchange isn't hearsay, and it won't be offered for the truth of the matter, that is, his driving status. Instead, it would be offered to show a timeline for the night. That is, Dylan was awake and texting at 2:10 a.m. From 4:19 a.m. to 4:21 a.m., Dylan attempts to call Bethany, Zana, Kaylee, Madison, and all calls unanswered. From 4:22 a.m. to 4:24 a.m., Dylan and Bethany sent the following text messages. Dylan to Bethany, "No one is answering. I'm really confused right now." Dylan to Kaylee, "Kaylee, what's going on?" Bethany to Dylan, "You dude, WTF?" Zana was wearing all black. Dylan to Bethany, "I'm freaking out right now. No, it's like ski mask almost." Bethany to Dylan, STFU. Actually, Dylan to Bethany, like he had something over his forehead a little and mouth. "I'm not kidding, I am so freaked out." Bethany, "So am I." Dylan, "My phone is going to die. Frick, Bethany. Come to my room. Run. Down here." Then, at 4:24 a.m., Dylan called Ethan Chapin and the call went unanswered. Dylan and Bethany continue to text. At 4:24 a.m., Dylan texts Bethany, "I'm scared though," and Bethany responds at 4:25, "Yeah, I know, but it's better than being alone." So, I'm guessing Dylan was afraid at first to run down to Bethany's room. It is strange that they didn't call or text 911 at this point, but I'm not blaming or shaming the survivors in any way. At 4:27, Dylan calls Kaylee, and the call went unanswered. At 4:28, Dylan calls Zana, and the call went unanswered. At 4:32, Dylan sends a text message to Kaylee stating, "Please answer." The next morning, Dylan sends the following text messages starting at 10:23. Dylan to Kaylee, "Please answer." Dylan to Mogan, "Are you up?" Dylan to Kaylee, "Are you up?" At 11:39, Dylan has a text exchange with her father. We don't know what was said to her dad yet. At 11:50, Dylan receives a text message from Jay stating, "Bro." At 11:50, Dylan calls EA and receives a text message from Jay at 11:51 and a vandal alert at 1:04. Wow, so that's a lot. I don't know their state of mind, but I know these young women experienced plenty of fear and confusion. Let's close for now with Revelation 7:9 through 10. After these things I looked, and this is what I saw. A vast multitude which no one could count, gathered from every nation and from all the tribes and peoples and languages of the earth, standing before the throne and before the Lamb, Christ, dressed in white robes, with palm branches in their hands. And in a loud voice they cried out, saying, "Salvation belongs to our God who is seated on the throne, and to the Lamb our salvation is the Trinity's to give. And to God, the Trinity, we owe our deliverance."